Really interesting video for you guys because I have three very high performance crawlers. They're what you call LCG, low center gravity, or comp crawlers. And what's special about this set is they all have portal axles, so a lot of clearance. It's my first one. Not very scientific on this one, but I have a lot of running footage where all three are running the same lines. So hopefully we'll all learn something together, right? All right, what I have for you first is a G-Speed LCG custom build crawler. So fully modded on this one, or not very expensive, maybe eight to $900. Carbon rails, Axial SCX103 portal axles, beadlocks, Hyrax tires with dual stage foam, little weight in the front, and this one is kind of the standard here in the Bay Area. The second crawler I have here is the Redcat Ascent. So this is kind of a revolution, not because it's very fancy, but it's because it's affordable. $299 for this bad boy right here, and portal axles as well. It came out last year, kind of made some waves, but it's really kind of a platform. You know, box stock, it wasn't really performing with its stock tires and motor that it modulates. So this is slightly modded with tires and a motor, and I kind of chopped the cab. By the way, I am going to go through all the details of each vehicle, you know, weight balance and articulation and electronics at the end after the running video. But the third vehicle I have for you guys is the Vanquish stands, VRD stands. So they had this thing in kit format. This is the ready to run. The Redcat, by the way, is ready to run as well. Portal axles, Vanquish, you know, only the best, and 90 millimeter shocks. $299 for this guy, and I believe this guy is like $489, so they got it under $500. But really kind of an interesting vehicle because I was able to run it box stock, no modifications whatsoever, even stock tires on this bad boy right here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna punch you through the running footage, maybe do some commentary. But I'd like you guys to comment as well, see what you're observing, what you're seeing. But if you wanna learn more detail about these vehicles, weight, balance, and all that jazz, go to the end of the video. All right, here we go. Test number one. It's a easy wall, and then we're gonna go right to the steep right here. All right, I speed it up a little bit to respect your time, and then you look at that thing climb. So immediately started impressing me on the tire quality, stock tires, and here is the Redcat right after the Vanquish, and right there sorry, the angle is a little different, but boom, look at that thing dominate that. The Redcat is pretty good on the steeps as long as it's not too bumpy. And here is the G-Speed takes a little different angle, and then boom, it gets grip and up and over. All right, another line here. This is a tricky one because there's an overhang there on the right. You're gonna hit the body, so you gotta have to go over this kind of a ridge rock. Use it as a bridge to get over, and then boom, it was able to get over with that articulation. Easy. And then here is the Redcat. Tries to hug the right. And then boom, the belly just made it slide off. That was kind of interesting. I probably should not have started with a Vanquish because I was assuming it would be easy, but yeah, right here it would hit the belly and it would just tip it over. So not enough belly clearance or articulation from the rear tire. So I speeded up a little bit just to respect your time, but yeah, it just kept doing that. So no go. And I like the failures because now if they all pass, you don't really learn anything, or not as much. And here is the G-Speed. And then boom, oh, it got over, but then it started dragging. So it did have some articulation, but then a little bit of clearance issues. And then I speeded up, tried. I'm not sure I'm gonna get this done. Boom, right there. Caught itself. So my standard tire is the Pro and Hyrax tire on this vehicle in the Redcat with dual stage foams. And I would have put this tire on the Vanquish, but this performance was respectable. We gotta see this stock tire. VXT2, I believe. It's their latest, and it's super gummy. It has a little cheat, which is it's a little big. It's instead of 4.8, it's 5.0. But yeah, look at that thing. Just crush that thing. So yeah, you could say that, yeah, maybe the slightly bigger tire gives it a little more clearance. And then here, Redcat tries to do the same line, but this line is very, very rugged, very jagged, and the Redcat, man, it really struggled. Which kind of surprised me because this thing did so well at my local in the Vista, but here, where the going is rough, it's a little tougher on the Redcat, and this has a few modifications already. Then boom, it just has a tendency to flip over. And here is the G-Speed on the bumpy line. The servo was not cooperating. It was a little slow. Oh, but look at that. I think it puts it in even footing with the other stock servos on the other machines. And that's a nice move right there. All right, here's a steepy little action from the Vanquish. And it is quite cool. It is not that low to the ground, but it can crawl up steeps. Here's the Redcat on something very steep. Little bump on the left there. A lot of these rocks are kind of wet. In case you've been here, it just rained and the ocean was very wild, so a lot of spray was happening. So here's the Vanquish again, and then oh, look at that thing! It just loves these little ledges. The front wheels get over, and then boom, it's up. So here is a cool combination of bumps and steep stuff, and right there it's gonna have to use its flex. And oh, and you know what's cool is this has a very cheap Hobbywing ESC, but it's performing well. It's not bothering me. I think they worked with Hobbywing to better this 1050 ESC. And here is the Redcat with a 1080 ESC and a cheap Hobbywing motor. Look at that, it does well. Here is Vanquish on a very tough little climb because it's a little rugged and it does it well. Alright, tires are wet now. Still doing well. It fell in a salt puddle, unfortunately. So wet tires, and it does well, right? So the Vanquish stands, and this is the ready to run. We have, so this has 26% overdrive. This Redcat has 0% overdrive, just because we haven't installed it. It can go up to 20, and the G-Speed has 24% overdrive. So yeah, let's speed it up. And I think it's gonna get stuck here. Driver error. All right, a little more climbing. I turned the sound down because the ocean was so loud. But rest assured, these three machines all kind of sound the same. They're pretty quiet. Here's the G-Speed. It was able to climb this. I just ran out of footage. Okay, now we go to a different venue, Linda Vista Park, and this is my Wall of Doom right here. And Vanquish has no problem doing it. You know, all these vehicles are kind of narrow for a comp crawler. You can easily widen them. This one may be a little bit wider. But yeah, they're able to get through these little alleys, no problem. Boom, not bad, huh? For the Redcat. And here is the G-Speed. Different days, so maybe the traction is not perfect, but you could just, not only should you observe the pass or fail, but how is the car behaving? You know, does it allow you to try and reposition, or does it fall right away? So right here, it's right at the limit. The dual stage foam is really holding its own, because right there, the tire's not collapsing, even though it's a lot of stress. Fairly high vehicle. I'm able to think about it, and then boom, I was able to get it out. Side hill. The high vehicle can side hill. I like it. And then right here, dual stage foam as well. Redcat is able to do it. This Redcat has been lowered. I'm using low C mini T springs on the front to get a lot of droop. And here is the G-Speed. Very controlled as well. Also using low C mini T springs. So they're fairly all equal on the side hilling department. And this is a tough one. It's a little crack there, little hole. And man, Vanquish was able to do it no problem. And this doesn't have a lot, you know, it's just a makeshift step. And then, wow, it really made easy work of this thing. A lot of flex involved, a lot of articulation. Okay, here's the G-Speed, and on the certain day, there's a little more rocks for it to step on, so a little easier to stay. But you could see how the G-Speed does well too on stuff like this. Here is the Redcat on the crack step, and you could see the fourth wheel lifting here and there. Oh, second attempt. So not quite as comfortable, but able to do it. And here is Mr. G-Speed. It's got a fairly drooped setup at sag. Oh man, that was easy work. I don't know what happened, if the line was easier, but man, G-Speed did well. And here is, I think, our last obstacle. It is just a kind of a crown of a step. Very difficult because it's sharp. So I tried with the Vanquish many times. It just kept falling. I think it just doesn't have enough forward weight, and it's a little bit high. All right, I'll speed it up a little bit since this takes a while to crab walk, and then should be up and over. That's how it's done. So the G-Speed's able to do it. And here is the Redcat. The Redcat just does not have enough. You'll be lucky to get up on the, oh, it's able to get up there. So not bad, not bad. And several attempts, but nothing doing. Okay, the first vehicle I'll tell you about is the Vanquish VRD stand. So box stock on this one, and pretty amazing because it doesn't have very special ESC or motor, but as you can see, it performed, right? And never have I seen stock tires perform this well. But these tires have a trick up its sleeve. It's a very gummy rubber and has dual stage foam. So a lot of articulation, a lot of travel. The The weight is pretty light. It is 2,218 grams total, and the distribution is 61% front and 39 rear. And I hope to improve that a little more and give it more forward weight. Okay, and the next stat I'll give you guys is the articulation ramp stat. I won't give you the RTI because very few people understand that, but I'll give you the flex. You know, how high can you go on with one wheel up with all other three wheels touching, and this one is 4.5 inches. Lot of flex, a lot of clearance on this guy. Okay, next vehicle I'll show you guys. So this is a G-Speed and Fusion Pro and high-end servo and what else? Some brass in the rear, some brass in the front. So a lot of tricks on this one, and a lightweight body. This one weighs in at 2,431, so 200 grams more than this guy, and the weight distribution is 62-38. And on the articulation, this one goes up 3.5 inches before the other tires lift. This is a 12.5 inch wheelbase, the Vanquish 12.5 on the G-Speed and 12.3 on the Redcat. Okay, and speaking of Redcat, the specs on this guy. So I did put some heavy wheels on it. The box stock, it wasn't really performing. Those tires are no good. I put another motor as well. It's got a nice swivel body, but that's it. I'm using the stock transmitter, so just $150 in upgrades. And the weight on this guy is heavy, 2,678, so about a pound heavier than this guy. And it doesn't have too much travel on the articulation ramp. It registered a full 3 inches, and that's because it has negative springs on the shocks that keep it low. You know, they want this to climb. So there's the specs. What do you guys think of the footage? Huh? It's like it really showed the difference between the three, right? At Linda Vista, at my steep ramps, you know, they were all kind of doing pretty well. But when I went to the beach, to the really gnarly rocky stuff, man, the Vanquish really just took off. Right on. Thanks a ton, everybody.